Thanks so much for your time. I am Pius Kojo Baka. This evening, government has announced a 45% increase in the producer price of cocoa for the 2024-2025 crop season. By this, a 64-kilogram bag of cocoa has increased to 3,000 cedis from 2,070 cedis. According or speaking at a press briefing, Minister for Food and Agriculture, Brian Champon, said cumulatively the increases for the entire season represent 129.6%.
On the 9th of September 2023, in Tepa, we announced officially the opening of the cocoa season. In between time, we have been offered different prices on the market. You are aware, during trading, and we have also attempted to offer cocoa farmers different prices. The most significant one that was worth announcing was the increase from 1,300 to 2,070. So in announcing a new price, you have to now relate it to what announcement you made at the beginning of your season. And at the beginning of last year's season, 2023, as I announced in Tepa, announced by the president in Tepa, as against the opening of this new season, is 129.6%. And that is very, very clear. In between time, there have been some announcements. Yes, increases here and there. It's in comparison with the beginning of the seasons, and that is what we always do. The issues are not obfuscated in any way, and that has to be clear. Number two, I thought that you work at Bloomberg and not at the finance department of Cocoa Board. But they are still accepting applications anyway. So I'm not too sure why you say that Cocoa Board has no money. It is a wrong impression. It should never be put out there, okay? Cocoa Board is well positioned to buy its crops from its farmers and trade same. Okay, so nowhere has government reported or Cocoa Board mentioned that he has no money to buy cocoa.
Brian Champon is the Minister for Food and Agriculture announcing the farm gate price there. And we want to have a quick conversation at the back of this. And of course, we want to hear from the farmers themselves as well. Joining us via phone is President of the Concerned Cocoa Farmers Association, Chief Farmer Nana Obuade Boatembo. So thanks so much, Nana, for joining us once again. Yesterday, we had a fruitful discussion. Now, 45% increase for the 2024 and 2025 crop season. That's significant, you would say.
Yeah, the first point of correction is the Concerned Farmers Association of Ghana. And then I am the Farmer General. Yeah, thank you very much. The price has come, all right, but there's a lot of tension among the farmers. And then others have been raising a whole lot of issues. And as I told you yesterday, that we are talking to the farmers for them to come down for me to receive the price. And later, you will know the way forward and what we also do or put on the table for the government also to see. But at the end of the day, the message or whatever that what we received this evening was a lot of intervention also coming. So farmers have to stay calm and then receive the price as it is. So for now, there's an engagement, a meeting that will be going on this evening and then tomorrow, which the farmers we will also come and then accept the price, or maybe what others also are saying. Also, we also see it and see how best we can also go into it.
But Nana, earlier you were looking forward to seeing a 45% increase. So if indeed we've seen government, stick to their grounds to ensure that we see the 45% increase we are witnessing, I guess that should suffice. What more engagements do you want to have?
Yeah, but it's not really the farmers that determine the price. It's the government that determines the price, and the government that has brought the price. And we are the producers. We produce the cocoa. We don't determine the kind of price that we need to sell our cocoa. It's then that they'll be telling us that this is the amount that is being selling out there. They'll be giving to us due to the interventions and other things that they have been giving to farmers. That is why they have been giving that price. Mr. Boyne, they made it clear for us during the meeting in Kumasi, and then he put a whole lot of things in it. The reason why the reason we the farmers have been getting prices like that. So there's an ongoing meeting as I'm speaking to. I just came out just to received the call. So it's not also decided yet. So from tomorrow going, we'll be deciding on the pricing that they got at this.
Do I get the impression that, well, you're not satisfied about the increase?
Well, that's what I'm saying, that there was a lot of engagement. So we will conclude this evening, and then tomorrow the whole thing will just come up for we to know if it's accepted or it is not accepted.
Well, Nana, one other key initiative or objective of these increases we see is to compensate farmers for their labor and, of course, to curtail the smuggling of cocoa beans to other countries. Now, do you think that with this increase, well, as you say, you are considering and deliberating on that, we will see that, being materialized?
Well, with the smuggling that is being going, it is not the farmers that smuggle this cocoa beans outside. We call them political farmers. They have been selling and splitting, how they call it, our cocoa out of the country. There's no way that a farmer will be carrying 50 bags or 100 bags of cocoa to cross border to Togo or maybe Nigeria or Cote d'Ivoire. So that is something that the security people have to look at, because our security system is being porous. Because how come they'll be smuggling a huge amount of cocoa like this through our borders and then nothing has been done, or maybe they can't even see. I mean, it is very shocking. So they have to check their security very well, and then we are producers to produce it. And what happened is, now some of the farmers paid money. So anytime a product comes out, oh, listen, I'll give you this price. They will go in and then sell their cocoa for them. And that is part of the meeting that we are even discussing today. So tomorrow we will also come out with our press conference or our press statement about the price that is come across.
All right. Concerned Farmers Association President Nana Obuade Boatimbo, we are indeed grateful for your time. Let's move away from that and touch on some inflation story we have for you. The year-on-year inflation for the month of August has slowed marginally to 20.4% from 20.9% recorded in July. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, the marginal slowdown in the rate of inflation from August last year compared to August 2024 was influenced by a reduction in food inflation. Here's a report.
The report revealed that inflation on imported items increased to 16.1% from 15.6% in July 2024. However, inflation on locally produced items saw some decline to 22.2% in August from 23.3% in July 2024.
For the second consecutive time, overall year-on-year inflation has dipped from 22.8 in June 2024, 20.9 in July 2024, and currently 20.4 in August 2024. This means that for the second successive time, we see a decline in overall year-on-year inflation. Over the 13-month period between August 2023 and August 2024, inflation has almost been halved, as it stood at 40.1% in August 2023, decreasing through to 20.4% in August 2024. On overall month-on-month basis over the 13-month period, we're recording for the third time a consecutive drop in month-on-month overall inflation. We saw a drop from 2.9% through to 2.1%, and currently the deflation of 0.7%. Indeed, the deflation of 0.7% is the significant deflation that has been recorded in the last 17 months.
Housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels recorded 31.8%, whereas restaurant and accommodation services recorded 29.5%. Also, alcoholic beverages, tobacco, and narcotics recorded 25%. Meanwhile, education services and health recorded 22% and 20.6% respectively. These items recorded higher inflation than the overall rate of inflation of 20.4% in August 2024.
With periods that we have spikes in our month-on-month inflation over the period 1998 and 2024, we see that of this period, January counts 20 times with spikes in month-on-month inflation, and on the flip side, we are seeing August and September respectively recording 10 and 8 times of the troughs that we see on a month-on-month basis. This picture is more dominated when we look at it from a food perspective in terms of the months that we record spikes in our month-on-month inflation and months that we record troughs in our month-on-month inflation. Over the same period, 1998 to 2024, from a food inflation perspective, we see the dominance of January over this period.
The Upper East region recorded the highest inflation rate for the month of August with 27.8%. Meanwhile, The Northeast region had the lowest inflation rate of 10.1% in August 2024.
And I would like to bring in the thoughts of economist Professor Peter Quartey for some quick conversation on the back of this and, of course, the farm gate price. Now, thank you so much, Prof, for joining us on Business Live. Even before we talk about inflation, your quick thoughts about the increase of the farm gate price by 45%, which, of course, cumulatively is 29.6% for the crop season.
Understand that 45% is certainly above the inflation rate. So it is a welcome. The farmers will get more income. But let's note that land or cocoa farms are competing with illegal mining. Land has alternative uses. So if we don't reward farmers very well, they will seek alternative uses for their land and for their resources. So I think this, for me, is certainly very good. That can resource farmers to get income, to also invest more in their cocoa farm, so that we will not see a declining volumes of cocoa production. We will not see smuggling, but we will rather see farmers getting better off by the day.
All right, so to what extent do you think that the increase will improve cocoa production and, of course, boost our export earnings and its overall impact on the economy?
Yes, as I mentioned, certainly farmers will get some extra resources to invest more in their cocoa farms. They can spray their cocoa farms, they can till the land properly and ensure that cocoa production increases. Otherwise, they may be compelled. Some can lure them with more funds to give their lands for illegal mining, or it will lure them to export or smuggle the cocoa outside the country. So I think this certainly would go a long way to increase production, but to some extent, because if we don't check illegal mining, we don't check galamsey, which is destroying the land, we might not witness the benefit we expect from this price increase.
All right, let's now talk about inflation. The rate for August lowered to 20.4% from the 20.9% recorded in July. What does that tell you?
Well, there is a marginal decline in inflation, which is good. I mean, we don't want to see higher rates of inflation. Inflation in itself, some level of inflation is good, but any inflation rate above 10-15% is not good for production, for businesses. So we've recorded a decline in food inflation by 2.2 percentage points, and that is significant. Although there was an increase in non-food inflation, but that was marginal. So overall, we've seen a decline from 20.9 to 20.4%. But what is worrying is the fact that we see certain parts of the country reporting very significant rates of inflation. So you see Upper West, the Savannah, Bono, Eastern region, and a few others recording very high rates of inflation. And I think that should be a source of worry, because some of these places are the bread baskets of the country. So if they are recording high rates of inflation, it tells you we are not producing enough food, and cost of living is going to be high in such places. I'm also getting a bit concerned because of the issue of lack of rainfall in some of this area. So already inflation is high, and if the limited rainfall, lack of rainfall, the drought in some of these places kicks in or has already started kicking in, that can have severe repercussions in the coming months on the rate of inflation. So unless government does something very drastic and significant, we may record higher rates of inflation, because there is drought and the food baskets of the country is witnessing some declines in food production.
And I'm worried as well, and also concerned as to what government can do to address those concerns you've raised in relation to the drought and, of course, galamsey and its effects on inflation generally. What do you think must be done to ensure that the downward trend we are witnessing is sustained going forward?
Well, immediately, I think we've heard the Minister of the Minister of Agriculture say they are going to import grains and a few others to beef up what we already have. That will be a good one sure way. And then also buying from farmers and storing, so that during the lean season, they can release them farmers will get higher income for their produce. That is also good. But the medium to long-term strategy will be to mechanize agriculture, will be to ensure irrigated agriculture. We tend to rely too much on rain-fed agriculture. So anytime the rains fail, then we are caught hands down. We need to work hard to install irrigation, to have proper irrigation facilities within the country. We are not doing very well when it comes to irrigation. Irrigated land is below 5%. That is not good.
All right. Thank you so much, Professor Peter Quartey. We are indeed grateful for speaking to us on Business Live. We are back with the Joy Business Fund.